that situation as well too. And if you guys need to look it up or anything like that, just get on NFL.com and they got everything in full details for you. Okay, so let's move forward to our final topic in hand for the NFL aftermath, and that's going to be the Bengals get big upset 31-17, handed the 49ers their third loss in a row. Now, they're starting to panic in Santa Clara. They're starting to panic in the Bay Area because the perfect season that they envisioned isn't going to happen. And the season where they were going to win 16 games and lose one isn't going to happen. The season where they were going to win 15 games and lose two isn't going to happen. Now they can possibly chase 14-3. But at the end of the day, let's be realistic. Stop putting so much pressure on these teams. When they're really good at what they do, there's going to be a point in time where it doesn't work. And the last 3 weeks, the 49ers have been a victim of circumstance. Against Cleveland, they missed a kick. Against Minnesota, they threw an interception late. But yesterday, they got absolutely dominated in every sense of the word. And pretty much what happened in that game was Cincinnati took full control of that game and didn't let up. Yeah, 31-17. Yeah, all good and well. But they started the game off 14-7. And this San Francisco defense doesn't give up points. They just don't. They hadn't gave up more than 22 points all season. Then they get into this game, they gave up 31 points. They wind up getting 14. They wind up going 14-7. And then 14-7 to start the game off. They get a little field goal there. And then in the second half, get dominated 17-7. And pretty much Joe Burrow was ice cold in a good way. And Joe Cool impressed Joe Cool. So, I don't know. But Burrow is pretty much arrived. Burrow was going through the issues of, being somebody who had to deal with, a lingering injury during the preseason. Now he's 100% healthy, and yesterday pretty much showed that 28 of 32, 87.5% completion percentage, 283 yards through the air, 3 touchdowns. He got sacked 3 times, but he finished up with the 4.8 QBR. Joe Mixon, 87 yards on 16 carries, scored a touchdown, really the go-ahead touchdown to get him out of there. And then Jamar Chase just absolutely decimated the 49ers secondary, who are going through their own lumps as well too. They wound up getting 10 catches for 100 yards. T. Higgins chipped in with 5 catches himself for 69. Boyd had 40. So all in all, their group had 209 on 13 catches. And these are Joe Burrow's favorite receivers, and that's how you feed your receivers. And then the defense just once again, the unheralded star of this team. These are the guys that actually kept things kind of, functional for the Bengals. The offense was the one that was kind of going through it because the offensive line was really bad to start the year, but they were really improved yesterday. But I'm looking at this group. Hendrickson, another very good player. He went out with an ankle injury yesterday, but he was able to get a sack. Sam Hubbard gets a sack as well too. Usual suspects, man. They just were so good. And Pratt, man, he had himself a very big moment in the game when he pretty much sealed the deal with the interception at the inside the 5-yard line. And it was pretty too, because it looked like he was just rushing the quarterback. But when the quarterback threw the ball, he was aware enough to snatch that baby out the air, and that pretty much ended the game. So, the 49ers, they need a break. It's time. They really need to take a break. Brock Purdy had 365 yards passing, but nobody's going to talk about that. What they're going to talk about is him having 2 interceptions, him losing a fumble, and being a detriment to his team. Even though he finished with a 94.2 QBR, all in all, without the mistakes, he had a pretty good game. But you have to factor in the mistakes all the time, because the mistakes are reason why they lost the game. So, Greg Kittle was able to be better yesterday. He did pretty good. He got himself a nice receiving touchdown and everything like that. You also had Ayuk, who was pretty good. 109 yesterday. McCaffrey uh, was ran for one and caught one yesterday, 64 yards. Regardless of anything, he still had a pretty good day, 118 total yards, even though he's still dealing with that injury. We obviously can tell. And the defense was good yesterday as well, too. Armstead had 2 sacks. Nick Bosa had a half a sack, and Farrell, the former Raider, had half a sack with them. So they were able to get to the quarterback 3 times. But when you just look at everything, 62 to 56 plays. That was something that favored the Bengals tough. And then the Bengals won the time of possession as well, too. That's something that the 49ers have really been able to key in on, and they just weren't able to do it yesterday. And you know what? The Bengals ran the ball 27 times. They ran the ball 4 more times than the Niners as well, too. So there was a lot of things that they just really wanted to do, and they did it. And they did this all on 400 yards. The Niners probably had one of their better offensive games of the year, 460 yards in total. Your quarterback threw for 365. You know what I mean? It's just, it just was one of them days, man. And the 49ers always have a game like this in Santa Clara against the AFC team. I just, it's just always happens to them at this point in time of the year. I hate to be like that, but it's just what I've always seen. So with that, we're going to go ahead and take our first break. And when we get back, we're going to jump into the NBA